Hello everyone and welcome to my class to continue with the socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution, that is the second chapter of ninth class NCERT history book. We have till so far we have discussed various topics, and in the previous video I have discussed about the Bloody Sunday, its effect, and uh, the position of Russia during the First World War when the war started. So let's start with the First World War and the Russian Revolution. What exactly happened during the war? Right, when the First World War, first of all, it started in 1914, and for 4 long years this war was on, and most of the major powers of Europe, they were involved directly in the war, and indirectly their colonies also got involved later on, right? So the major powers at that time in Europe were divided into two groups. The central powers included Germany, Austria, and Turkey, whereas the excess power included the France, Britain, and Russia. So Russia was on the side of France and Britain, two leading nations, right? So somewhere when Tsar Nicholas II had taken this decision that he, if he'll fight the war, he will be on a safer side, because two powerful nations were in their support, the France and Britain, and he was in a thought that he might win some territories of other nations, right? So he can expand the Russian Empire. With this aim, he took the decision to take part in war, right? Although the people were half-heartedly participating, since the ruler himself was involved in the war, so the Russian people, they also started giving support to him initially. So when the war started, the Russian army was headed by Tsar Nicholas II himself. He was leading Russian army, and in his absence, Zarina Alexandra, his wife, she took a lead, and her advisor Rasputin supported her in the political matters. So they tried to improve the condition of the image of the monarchy in Russian society. She and Rasputin were having this view that they knew this fact that the Russian people are not so happy with their monarch. So they try to improve the situation. They try to portray the good side of the monarchy, but still they were somewhere they met the failure. Now, when talking about the war, the ruler was not there in Russia. He left for the battlefield, and Russian society, Russian nation was left without ruler. So in that condition, what happened, whatever the news that came from the battlefield, the Russia was fighting war on two fronts, the western and the eastern front. Now on both these fronts, the techniques of fighting the war were different, right? On the western side, trenches were used. Trenches क्या होता है? ट्रेंचेस होता है किसी के पीछे छुपकर वार करना. ये आपने फिल्मों में देखा होगा, जो बैटल फील्ड में क्या करते हैं, वो खुदाई कर देते हैं लैंड की, और ऊपर रेत से भरी बोरियां लगा देते हैं, और फिर उनके पीछे छुपकर वार करते हैं. तो इस तरह से ट्रेंचेस बनाए जाते हैं ताकि गोली जो है, फेस टू फेस वॉर में गोली जो है डायरेक्ट ना लगे. इस तरह के ट्रेंचेस यूज़ किए गए जब वो वेस्टर्न साइड लड़ रहे थे रशियन आर्मी, जिसकी वजह से कम लोग मारे गए. लेकिन ईस्टर्न साइड पे ओपन लड़ाई हो रही थी, बैटल फील्ड में फेस टू फेस गोलियां चल रही थी, जिसके कारण जो है बहुत वॉर कैजुअलिटीज हुई, बहुत लोग मारे गए, रशियन सोल्जर्स मारे गए. अराउंड 7 million soldiers were killed, and many more were injured. So this was a huge casualty. और इतने बड़े पैमाने पे लड़ाई, जो कि अनुमान लगाया जा रहा था कि बहुत कम समय में ख़त्म हो जाएगी, इट डिडंट हैपन. लड़ाई जो है वो लगातार 4 सालों तक खिंच गई, जिसकी वजह से जो ये रशिया है, जब उसके सोल्जर्स इतने भारी मात्रा में मरने लगे, तो जो कॉमन पीपल है उनको फोर्सफुली दे वर रिक्रूटेड इन द आर्मी, दे वर सेंट टू द बैटल फील्ड्स टू फाइट द वॉर. They resented this fact. The common people were not in favor of war, but they were forced to go to the battlefield, right? So this was against their will, and they were now becoming frustrated, right? Pointlessly they were fighting. They didn't see any point to fight, to carry on the war for a long period. So they were thinking that the king should take a decision to withdraw from the war, but then, this didn't happen. Now, talking about the impact of the First World War, the severe impact was seen on the limited Russian industries. Industrially wise, Russia was not so developed as compared to other European nations. Very few industries were there at that time in Russia. We have discussed these points earlier when we have talked about the Russian Empire, their economy, their society. So very few industries were present in Russia at that time, and that those industries were also affected due to war, right? Then cut off of industrial supplies, industrial goods का अब एक कट ऑफ हो गया because of war. Regular production नहीं हो रहा था to meet the demand of the public. So this happened. Railway lines were broken down. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सिस्टम जो है, रशिया अपने आप में बहुत फैला हुआ देश है, बहुत बड़ा देश है, जिसमें एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाने के लिए गुड मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चाहिए. और उस समय जो भी रेलवे लाइंस थी वो कहीं ना कहीं वॉर की वजह से इफेक्ट हो रही थी, टूटी जा रही थी, जिसकी वजह से लोगों को दिक्कत आ रही थी, राइट? सो अल्टीमेटली हु ऑल वर सफरिंग? द कॉमन पीपल इन रशिया. नाउ लार्ज सप्लाईज ऑफ ग्रेन्स वर सेंट टू द आर्मी. जितना भी प्रोडक्शन रशिया में हो रहा था, फूड सप्लाई, वो ज़्यादातर उसका एक ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ ग्रेन वाज सेंट फॉर आर्मी. दिस लीड्स टू फूड शॉर्टेज इन द मार्केट, एंड इट वाज नॉट इन कीपिंग अ पेस विद द ग्रोइंग डिमांड ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन. पॉपुलेशन की जो खाने की मांग थी और जो फूड सप्लाई थी वो लिमिटेड थी. उसमें भी एक मेजर हिस्सा जो सोल्जर्स के लिए भेजा जा रहा था, तो कॉमन लोगों के लिए फूड बच ही नहीं रहा था, जिसकी वजह से अगेन द कॉमन पीपल वर एंग्री, राइट? फोर्सफुली people were sent to fight the war. They were not in a favor of war, but still they were forced to go to battlefields to carry on war. लेबर शॉर्टेज हो रही थी क्योंकि लोगों को फोर्सफुली लड़ने के लिए भेजा जा रहा है, वो अपने काम धंधे छोड़ के उनको लड़ाई में धकेला जा रहा है, तो जिससे कि लेबर्स की सप्लाई एक शॉर्टेज हो रही थी इंडस्ट्रीज में, एग्रीकल्चरल फील्ड में, जिसकी वजह से जो ना तो एग्रीकल्चरल आउटपुट उतना आ पा रहा था, ना इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट आ पा रहा था. सो ऑल दीज प्रॉब्लम्स which generated due to the wrong decision of the Tsar Nicholas II to take part in the First World War affected the life of common people, right? So this had an impact, a severe impact on the Russian people, and by the end, not by the end, but in the year 1917, revolutions were taking place in Russia where the people, common people, they stood against their own Tsar, and the culmination point came when the Russian soldiers, they supported the people, and they also stood with the people and refused to fight the war further, right? That part will be covering in the next video. Please wait for the next video. Like, share and review this, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.